Freddie was born in April of 2017, and 3 weeks later, which was May 1st of 2017, is the day that I decided to take him to the hospital. I remember my husband called me and was like, hey, do you want to do dinner? It was our anniversary. And I said, I just don't feel quite right leaving him. And then I noticed his hands started turning a little blue and purple, and then I could feel him getting colder. And I was like, no, we're going to the ER. When we got to the hospital, gave him to the doctors, and the doctors were puzzled as to why his heart rate was so high. It was 289 beats per minute. And as soon as they cleared the entire room, he flatlined. From that moment on, they worked tirelessly on him. Everybody, like every cardiologist in the hospital came. So what happened after was they were like, okay, you're gonna see him again, but he is going to look very different. And he did. He was in an induced coma, wires everywhere. He was on a machine called ECMO that was keeping him alive. So when I stood there to try to go into the room, I noticed the gentleman in the back. He was dressed up, and I thought he was in charge. Little did I know, he was the chaplain. He was praying for Freddie. He was praying for me. He was praying for our family. You know, days went by, nights went by, and like we would sleep standing up. Bad news after bad news. They believed he was gonna be brain damage. His limbs, his fingers were supposed to turn black from being on ECMO. So they were thinking about maybe they were gonna amputate. He had his last surgery, which was application of the lungs. And when we were about to leave the hospital, when he was moved to the 5th floor, which is considered where like, okay, the baby's helping now. I said, hey, how long are we gonna be here? And they're like, oh, just you're probably gonna be here for 5 more weeks because he doesn't know how to eat. He's been intubated for so long. And I sat there in the bed, I held his little hand and I prayed. And I was very thankful for that moment, just to be able to like finally hold him, to hold his little hand. He was awake, and I said, okay, now you can give him the bottle. And they're like, are you sure? We don't want to upset you. And I said, please give him the bottle. And they were like, okay. He sucked the bottle in 10 seconds. And they were like, oh, like they called everybody and they're like, you have to see this. Like, this is insane. This kid is drinking his milk. And they're like, we've never seen this before. And I just smiled. It was like a wink from God, like, told you, everything's gonna be fine. And from that day on, you know, I went home, and of course he had a lot of surgeries and wounds I had to clean up. But every time we went to the doctor, I feel like I was wearing God's armor now. So no matter what they told me, I would say, okay, thank you, and keep on going, knowing that, again, God has the last word. He proved everybody wrong. Everything that they would tell me would happen never happened. He just keeps shining that light, you know, showing everybody, like, it doesn't matter. Like, God has the last word. And if you believe and you have faith, he's gonna come right through and say, this is me, this is who I am. And I'm loving every bit of it. When I look at Freddie, I think of the goodness of God. The goodness of God. I see that he's a miracle maker. I see that when the world tells you there's no hope, he comes and he says, I'm gonna show you that there is hope. And I'm gonna show you that I'm the king of the world. And I can do anything, whatever you think is not possible, it is possible through him.